Welcome insiders to Inside News. I'm your host Eric. Today is February 17th, 2014, so let's get started. So this past week, Canon actually announced a few new cameras, some point-and-shoot cameras, and a new DSLR. Starting with the DSLR, Canon announced the Canon T5. The T5 is a very similar camera to the T5i, it just has some lower specs to make the pricing lower, which is made for starting filmmakers and photographers. The Canon T5 will start you off at around $550, and it's a great upgrade from the T3 if you want to get into videography, and if you want to get your very first DSLR, this is a great camera to start with. Moving on, Canon also upgraded some point-and-shoot cameras, and they actually upgraded their highest end point-and-shoot camera yet, which is the Canon G1 X Mark II. The Canon PowerShot G1 X Mark II obviously is the predecessor to the G1 X. Looking internally in the Mark II, there is a new sensor, there is a new processor, there's actually Wi-Fi and NFC now built in. The lens can now go to a lower f-stop, which lets more light in. Also, there are two control rings, which lets you adjust the focusing and the zoom, kinda similar to a DSLR. Overall, everything seems to be pretty decent with it, but looking at the design, it is slightly smaller, which is a good thing, but they actually did remove the viewfinder, which in some people's opinion is a huge deal. A viewfinder in an outdoor environment or a really bright environment when taking photos or even video is really essential, and Canon does actually have an electronic viewfinder that you can buy for this camera, but it's like $300, which is absolutely ridiculous. Looking at the screen, it doesn't actually come out and swivel anymore. It does tilt though, which is, I guess, okay. I'd rather it swivel, but that's just me. Overall though, if you live with the non-swivel out screen and no viewfinder, it definitely seems to be a decent upgrade from its predecessor. Unfortunately though, I do wish it was a little bit smaller so it is more pocketable, but that's not the case. Moving on, Canon also announced some lower end point-and-shoot cameras like the ELPH-150, the ELPH-140, and the ELPH-135. I'm not actually going to go into detail about them, it's not really worth it, though I will also mention that they announced a new rugged camera for like underwater videography, and that is the PowerShot D30. It's a pretty rugged camera that's made to survive drops and water and dirt and all that stuff. It looks nice, but it's nothing really compared to a GoPro. But it's not actually trying to compete with GoPro, but I'm just using that as an example. Moving on, in non-Canon related news, we have possible leaked images of the iPhone 6. The leaked images of the iPhone 6 indicates that we're going to see a larger screen on the new iPhone, probably around 4.7 to 4.6 inches, and also looks like the iPhone 6 is going to have no bezel on the edge. So the screen's going to extend to the edge of the phone. And it also kind of looks like it's going to look similar to an iPod Touch 5th generation. Finally, in inside news, Sony is going to be leaving the PC business. Sony hasn't had a lot of success when it comes to PCs, so they're going to be selling off their entire VAIO market and not making any more laptops. But I mean, personally, I don't think a whole lot of people are affected by this. Granted, there are tons of workers that are actually affected by this, but I don't think many people were getting VAIO computers anyway, so it doesn't bother me. We still have HP, Dell, Lenovo, Acer, Asus, and you get the point. Anyway though guys, that's Inside News for today. Please leave all your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share with your friends, and help the channel out in any way you can. Anyway though guys, my name's Eric, this is Inside News, and I'm signing out.